button. I just cannot say how much that pissed me off that the Jake gets to escape and that the Jake came from the right. If he would have come from any other fucking direction, he would have gotten hooked and I could have gotten away. But he had to come from the left, or he had to come from the right. Kittens, you're gonna need to move because you've already scooted this little table once, and if you knock it over, I'll have to throw you both outside. Oh, let me change my audio because it's mostly set to party. I need it to be mostly set to game audio, that way I can hear. I also need to shake one of these because one of them is not working properly, and the audio is coming out of the wrong ear. Or no ear, matter of fact. Let's give a simple rundown of the backstory of this challenge. Fuck this challenge, bro. It is... Oh, it's so easy, it's so simple, but once you hit high rank, you run into nothing but mentally challenged apes who evolved backwards. So all I get is fucking Nias with Decisive Strike who think they're tough shit and loop the killer for about 5 seconds, hit their decisive, the killer just knocks them down again, and then disconnects. And I'm like, what the fuck did you expect? Let's hope to God this team is better. I don't know, last time I had a Kate Denson and a Yui on the same team, I nearly threw my remote through the fucking TV. Look at my gold-plated something. What is it? Baltimore and Co. Gold-founded penny or coin. B. Altman, Cincinnati, founded in 1988. It's a gold-plated coin. From there, I guess. I'm going to kiss it for good luck. Because I hope and pray to anyone that's listening that can control others' brains or thought patterns, please make it to where my teammates have enough brain power to understand that at high rank, killers don't play by the same fucking rules. And that if you are unhooking someone, you are responsible for taking that fucking hit if they're on their last hook. I need to jumble some totems. Let's hope they don't come here first. It doesn't look like they are, so they're gonna be pretty pissed off when the first 5 seconds of the match I pop their ruin. And boom! It's a pyramid head, so he probably did have ruin. Alright, there's 2 totems cleansed. No more cleansing totems. Now I must work on gens. This one too? I know it says it only does 3 generators, but it seems like it does like 18,000 bajillion million fucking trillion generators. That's a basement hook, isn't it? I really hope it's not a basement hook and that he's just hooking him outside. Something deep down in my bones told me he wasn't going to. Luckily this pyramid head doesn't know how his power works and that he can't be within a certain range of whoever he hooked or generators for his ship to activate. So I'm going to pull you off this hook and we're going to run, okay? Let's go! take a hit for you. Okay. I still got hit somehow. I gotta give him credit for that recovery, though. I really want to be part of that gen repair. Tragic. Let me join you. Can you hear me, boys? Nice decisive, though. It just occurred to me we're facing a pyramid head, and that fucking sucks, because pyramid heads are bitches. I understand I saw that person and I was injured go into the gas station, but I really need to just get generators done right now, so I'm just gonna focus on getting my generator done. Wow, y'all really don't watch where you're stepping, do you? That's thrilling tremor seeing as which gen I'm on now. There's no way I finish in time. I'm interested. I'm not complaining. Once I'm done with this one, you bet your sweet ass I'm running right over there where Kate was. I'm gonna go help her with her generator. Oh, Kate, please. No offense, Kate, but I am gonna go for the finisher. You. Hey, do you want to get healed, bro? You are... Ooh, that's a cage. That means he knows we're nearby. And them are fighting actions right there. He wants to fight. No offense, gamer, but I really need that unhook. Even though I don't think this counts as an unhook, I need to be careful. Alright, gamer, hold on. I'm gonna save you, and it's not gonna count as an unhook, so I'm gonna be really pissed off about it, but I'll still try. Wanna heal? Run, fool, run! Ah! Puts me on the hook. Ah! Big pyramided bitch. I got my challenge complete. I can die happy now, but I would like to escape. And the gamer who's coming to save me, please watch where you step. No, he saw you. Luckily my kindred's giving everyone the big sight. However, could they get the big sight that no one's coming for me and I need help? The gamer who's coming for me, can you not do that? That's fine though. Let's heal, gamer, let's heal, gamer, let's heal, gamer, let's heal, gamer, let's heal. Oh, he's going for the save. Alright. I don't want to be here. That's a small smidgen of his goo. Wow, she's dead as fuck. And that person's a dumbass who's getting in trouble now. Actually, we're all in trouble. However, I do see one gamer who is running my way. Follow me. Oh, you know where the last gen is, you fucking legend. Alright, I'm gonna take it we both have adrenaline. I am prepared for the consequences of my actions. Now, gamer, I don't know if we have enough time. Gamer, you need to commit! You need to commit! If you don't commit, that's game! Oh, you're an idiot. You're an actual idiot. Yeah, that's game. The one time I don't bring Unbreakable. He saw me. God damn it. At least I completed my challenge. See, they still haven't fixed this either. God damn it. I think we would have had it too if the Nia would have committed. I don't know why she gave up on that generator. We were so close, it would have been worth. If I find out she didn't have adrenaline, I'm gonna be pissed. Or if she did have adrenaline, I mean. That might have been my person right there, I think. Get Undying Ruin? Well, I didn't see Ruin, so I'm gonna assume I broke Undying at the start, and at some point someone broke Ruin, maybe? That's all I could think of. Yeah, as of recent, now that I've played Survivor a lot more, I do understand a lot of the grievances survivors have with my playstyle, and all I can really say to them is most of the grievances survivors have with me is kind of dumb, because I'm like 90% sure that it's their fault I had to do the things I do. 1 second. Is the challenge complete? Hey, we did it! We don't have to do that shitty challenge anymore, even though it's not shitty. It's super easy. It's just difficult to have cooperating people. Repair generators while cooperating with other survivors. Maybe, maybe. Now, all the challenges I have left are just ones that are going to take many games to finish. And some of them, like, oh, you could complete this in one match. Yeah, you could. You fucking could if killers weren't big smarty pantses and knew to just, like, back up when they're on a pallet. Same with this one. It would either go extremely well or extremely bad. It all depends on how I play the cards. This one's fucking impossible at this point because I never survive. Or if I... The only reason I'm high rank is because you can rank up without actually having to escape. And, like, I'm good in every category. It's just... Well, I'm okay in every category. It's just the fact that I can't do all the generators myself, and 9 times out of 10, most of my teammates are off sucking their own dick in a locker, not doing generators. So I can't really do the escaping part, because my team is not there. I do need to play a different survivor, though, preferably someone with, Oh, I forgot I bought the Saw chapter, and I bought the Stranger Things chapter, so my survivor roster just fucking expanded by 3 survivors today for $10. Is that expensive? Yes. Was it worth it? Hopefully. I don't know. I see the error of my ways when it comes to just buying the characters with shards compared to just buying the pack for $7. $7 is a lot, but it's every 3 months, so I don't mind. There's a cat fighting a stink bug on the wall. Very epic. I could have also got Jeff, Adam, and Jane. Actually, I could have gotten everybody, but I just don't fucking care about the rest of these characters because this one's already had a tomb. This one's already had a tomb. I met Jane, not Zarina. So these 3 are the only ones left that I need a tomb for, and I already have all the killers in the game, so whoever gets the next tomb, which I think it's supposed to be Adam, is who I'm going to buy with my shards. Who do I need to play, though? Is it Jake? Jake, do you have Shroud of Binding? You don't, but... You don't, so I'm not playing you. I think it might have been Yui. Yui Kimura. You do. Perfect. Nice. Can we get rid of that and replace it with this and drop this? That's small PP build though. Alright, decisive, you can get out of here. I'll probably regret that in the long run though. I could just be a gamer and drop borrowed time for adrenaline since I don't go for saves anyway. Small PP build! Fuck, I can't do that! God, Unbreakable Decisive is such a good combo, but it's such a gay move, I can't do it. My brain just naturally kicks into the smart mode where I don't want to be gay and not let the killer have a fun time too, because that's how it works. I'm just kidding. Honestly, for me, it's whatever side I'm playing on, fuck the other side. Fuck all they care about, and fuck them. So when I'm playing killer, fuck survivor mains. When I'm playing survivor, fuck killer mains. Yikes. Hang on. It's not good. It's not bad. It's like a mid-ground. Can I hear a thud? Got one cat napping on the bed looking at a stank bug. You got the other one in a bag. Bean, what you doing laying in a bag, bro? Alright, where's the phone? Well, yeah, use that phone. 25%. That's pretty good. Hour and a half till fully charged. Whew. Bro, what is this nurse doing? Someone take a hit. Okay, that was weird. I'm gonna dip on out of here now. Aren't you? So now I'm just confused as fuck as to why you are what you are. This really is a game over, isn't it? Can we just, like, not be here? Number 2. You're an idiot. You are dumb. You are fucking stupid. I just call this shit a game over and beat the fuck off this folk. Y'all a bunch of dumbasses. You can die in that game by yourselves. I'm not gonna be part of that shit. A high-ranked nurse with a bunch of mentally challenged apes? Pass. Big pass on that one. I'd rather just take my D rank and move on, because that is not worth my time. Look at this. 1, 2. I was expecting more than that, and also, we just talk about the amount of borrowed time these gamers are running here. I think I know who I have to play. After experiencing an L that large be dropped in my presence, I gotta go to play Dwight. I can't play anyone else. Every other character is just gonna get me fucking killed, but Dwight. Dwight is the one I got to red rank with. He's the one I can stay in red rank with. So maybe I shouldn't play Dwight now that I think about it, because fuck high rank and fuck everyone in it. Everyone here in high rank is a bunch of dickheads and they're all stupid. That's why I'm here. Alright, where is it? No. Fuck empathy. We're doing bond. Fuck adrenaline. We're doing prove thyself, which I don't actually have for Dwight. Because you're asking yourself, why? You might even think to yourself, well, let me tell you, child. Because the blood web fucking hates my guts. Hey. See, like, part of me really wants to prestige Dwight, but at the same time, another part of me is like, why would I prestige survivors? Especially when I've got an outfit that I enjoy for that survivor. Well, enjoy in quotation marks, because I'm not living on this outfit forever. I do want a different one eventually, but I'm not willing to cough up actual money for cosmetics. I just buy the battle passes because I'm a slut. I'm a battle pass slut. Big boy pants. That's about the best. Oh my god. That's about the best cosmetic set you can ask for right there, and anyone that tells you otherwise is lying. Because, oh no, it just gets worse. These pants ruin any cosmetic setup humanly possible for Dwight. It is just... ugh. Alright, since I don't have Prove Thyself, I will no longer be playing Dwight, because Prove Thyself is literally God tier. Alright, maybe Richter. Maybe Richter has it. Tragedy. What does Yumi have again? Yui? Not Yumi. Yumi. God, it's that Prove Thyself I'm looking for. I'm also looking for a high-level bond, but I don't think I'm gonna get both. Ooh, hold on a second. I didn't even realize that right there. I guess I'll drop adrenaline for bond. Why do I run bond, you're asking yourself? Not? Because. Fuck you. Bond's a good perk. I'm gonna run Vigo's Jar of Salty Lips because I feel like I don't know. I just bring Salty Lips for when I want to kill myself, but I don't want to kill myself. I want to hurt myself, but feel safe about it, you know? I like that Ace cosmetic a lot for no reason. The shirt is what fucking sells it for me. And also the fact that it's Ace, who is literally just the best character in this game. Well, Ace is the best character after Richter. I was the only one not readied up there. I accept my punishment. Can you find anything other than my shit to chew on? I buy you toys. You have toys. Quit fucking chewing on stuff. At this rate, I'm keeping Bean, not you, Curio. God damn. I'm gonna have to defang a cat by hand, because this shit's getting obnoxious. You've eaten three sets of earbuds. 3 sets of earbuds, cat. How do you even fucking get them? I put them on my TV stand. How do you get up there? Is Domino the accomplice? Because she's the only one I know can get to my TV stand in one jump. Except she doesn't even do that. Normally she jumps up on my computer desk, knocks some shit off there, well, nightstand with computer on it, and knocks some shit off there, and then climbs on the TV. God damn. If anyone can recommend how to declaw and defang a cat, that way they're just kind of like I don't know, a fucking jelly bean of an animal, please tell me how, because I fucking hate my cats right now. They just break everything. Plague. Get on the generator. Get on the generator. I will not touch the generator until you get on it. Very epic. We all had to hit that generator with a collective no thank you, man. That was not very smart, just accept being puked on like that. No. You go away. You go away. You... Fuck it. I've got a challenge to complete. I just passed by an altar. You're following me, brother. That's a decisive. Wasn't expecting that. That definitely came out of right field. Oh god, you're all sick. Go away. Hope y'all are going to a fountain of not being sick, please, because I want to do generators, but I also don't want to get sick because of you. Gamer, come on, let's go do a generator. Come on, gamer. Gamer, let's go. You are on your own. You're running right into the fucking killer's eyes. Yep. Your problem now, gamer. I am going this way. How did all of you get hit? How are all of you injured now? Oh, the other guy just got broken. That's it. Did she throw up on this or kick it? No, she didn't. And the guy didn't throw up on it, which is pretty dope. Wow, she really tunneled his ass because she's indecisive, dude. What a baby. If I get decisive, I just move on to the next fucking person. I don't really care. I mean, unless they're the only person there is, but congrats, jackass, because of your decisive, which is well deserved. Though I mean, she did kind of specifically tumble you down. Now we have no teammate. And our numbers are dwindling very fast, and I can't unhook that person because they're gonna throw up on me. However, I will cleanse that code. Is she actually here still, or did she have like barbecue maybe, or it's like all I could think of. I would go for that save, but it looks like he's gonna go defend. So I'm instead just gonna start touching this. Glad he understands what's going on here. Can I break this in time? Please don't close it. Oh, she's standing right on it. What a bitch! What a bitch. Because that's allowed. That's some bullshit right there. hard look and write down in the notebooks a long list of things that they've tried to fix in this game and subsequently broken in the process. God, I fucking hate this game. I'm not gonna have a long argument with that guy about what I did. I don't care. Listen, if I leave you to die on the hook, my excuse is gonna be the same every time. If I saved you, she would have just slugged the both of us anyway. Pretty sure she's got no issues. That's tragic. But I can't get off this generator. I need to stay on it. That way I don't lose all my progress. Did we actually get her ruin or no? I swear to God, man. How the fuck can people see that far out of their peripherals? I swear, man. I don't think I'll be getting off. Am I gonna have to make it 4%? just realized her ruin is still up. I mean, she's got Undying, doesn't she? How the fuck the other one dies so quickly? Why does it still feel like they're taking years? Save. I'm gonna go for this generator that was on the other side of the map. What's this one? This one worked though. I gotta go for the save. Will I even make it in time? I am very confused. That's fucking awkward. Understand how they do those super short dashes. Like, it feels like it sounds like they had been holding on to the power forever. So I'm like, how the fuck they get away with that? What the fuck? I'm accepting my own death. Bro, that wasn't very smart, unless you got decisive. It's the play! It's the biggest brain play you've ever done, did see. Please don't come back for me. No offense, gamer, but I'm gonna run. Nah. Yes. On the hatch, it speaks for me. They know too much. They know too much. You're fucking kidding me. You're fucking kidding me. They did that gay shit. They did that gay shit. Oh, she could still swing after that. Why is that allowed? Why is that allowed? Just take me. I'm done. I quit. I'm done. I'm done. I quit. Why is that allowed? Why is that allowed? So you can't grab survivors out of the hatch anymore, but you can stand on it and waste their time. That's some fucking bullshit. That's twice my hatch has been robbed from me because some fucking killer just stands on top of it. That pissed me off so much. Like, the amount of anger seething inside of me. Oh. Oh. If you could translate anger into, like, any... I don't know. To put it simply, if I just let my anger out, I could probably punch a fucking building in 3. Because this shit, I'm taking I'm abstaining from the next pass. Because I personally cannot do this for a third time. The first time, it was enjoyable kinda until the last stretch. This time, it's been a fucking drag. The challenges were ass. Crossplay exists now, so I'm facing just the most dickhead survivors and killers who I can't even message how much of a bitch they are. God, it just pisses me off, man. It's not crossplay that I'm mad at. It's nothing else other than I just can't get a fucking good game. Oh, you're just not playing well enough. I wish that was the case. I wish I could honestly say I'm the problem with my games not going good. But it's fucking killers that just tunnel me down. Survivors who don't fix gens. I just can't. I rarely get teams that just cooperate. streaming? Whoa, bro, that's crazy. I'm also streaming, bro. That's fucking crazy.
What can I get started for you today? I'm trying to have sex with Travis Scott. What?
That is single-handedly the best one. The super enthusiastic McDonald's employee. The way his fucking voice sounds. Hey, I'm trying to have sex with Travis Scott. I just kicked a cat. I'm sorry. You seem pretty chill about it, though. Normally I'd see Bean fucking lose his shit and wow, hello. Okay. Alright. I like a challenge. Oh, that's a hex run. Wouldn't it be fucking hilarious if the hex runs right? Wow! That's iridescent head, bro. That's iridescent head. That man's just getting head. But not the good kind. That's the one slot blow on spot. We don't want to touch that. That's bad shit. We stay away from that. Hey, what's up, gamer? You work on this gen with me? Come on. No? Here, I'll also get a hex run notification. Yeah. I feel better. It's gonna be one of those games. I haven't had iridescent head Huntress like ever, so I like my chances. Slim to none and making me want to die already. Right, let's see, we got a totem in here? No? That's fine. Hey yo bro, you trying to get healed? I do be out here being the greatest Dead by Daylight player in history. You wanna get the heals, Bill? I'm hitting greats. You know what? Pass. See, we both fell down here, Bill. Can we go? Hey, that better be hex ruin you're touching. Come here, Cheryl. Touch time. I'm literally the worst Dead by Daylight player in history. Alright, we're gonna go touch this gen. You ready? Come on, right here. This gen, right here. Come on, touch this gen. Come on, right over here. Touch this generator. Come here. Come here. God, fuck it. I just need someone to touch the generator with me! It's right here, isn't it? Boom. I fucking knew it. I'm a legend. Richter, I'm coming to help you with that generator. I know you don't need it, but I need it. Politely go up this way. Anyway, I think she's getting a new one-shot passive. It's kind of scared me. Now, I think she might have down there. Throw them down there. I'm kind of just gonna jump off and hide this bush. This is for my Damn, she really do be tunneling that bill, though. That's tragic. You're a dumbass. Why was the scream? I guess it would make sense if she had Iron Maiden. Do you know I'm here? I genuinely can't tell. Gamers, you ready? See, that shit's crazy, bro. They're over there having a fight. They wouldn't dare attack an injured player, though. That's the killer. That's against killer code and conduct. Pussy boy Bill over here. He fucking ran from the goon squad. What a. Oh, now you want to. Bill, can't you see there's gens to be worked on, son? I'll heal you, but I ain't gonna be happy about it. Now get on the generator. You. Generator. Thank you. God, I swear to God, these Twitch players are absolutely fucking brain dead. I'm just kidding, Bill. You got something in there. It's just hard to find. You gotta poke around for it all. Why'd you get off? No. Bill, come back here. Bill, come back here. See, now this is tragic. What? What? Excuse me? What? Would anyone in the crowd like to point out? Someone point out where the fuck that hit me at? Because I didn't know the air 3 feet above me was part of my fucking body. I'm done with this fucking match already. I'm just kidding. Oh! I am ecstatic right now that Huntress just hit the coolest fucking trick shot in the game. Like, it was so cool that not even the devs knew it was possible. Hell, the hitboxes didn't even know what to do, that they just gave you the hit. Oh, and the Twitch streamer's dead. Big shame. I'm gonna go the opposite way, actually. I don't like my odds, seeing what this killer, you know, is capable of with her immense tunneling capabilities. I think I'll just vibe here in this bush. But put aside the fact that I don't want to get tunneled for a second. What's in this chest? Oh, hey, what's up? Did you see her? Hey, if you see her, just sprint the opposite direction. Wow, she really did break every fucking door here. Character, please shut up. He's chasing the Bill. Bill. I don't want to die. Bill. What are these absolute fucking gamers doing? just out here trying to get gens done. And these, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Get over here. You. Follow. Generator. Thank you. All it took was me fucking pinning him down in a corner and saying, you will fix this fucking generator. If we spend all game looking for the ruin, we won't get any fucking generators done. Bill's been running around for the entirety of this generator, and we're just now getting halfway done. Because this dumbass wants to find ruin more than she wants to complete gens. Like, I understand ruin is dangerous, but it's not dangerous enough that you need to just not do the fucking objective. Now, if it's a killer with good pressure who can keep you off generators, then yes, by all means, try and find their ruin. But if it's a killer like this, who the only pressure they've got is, like, tunneling people down, just fucking gen rush them. Like you. If that is not ruin, I'm going to jump in this locker. You're so lucky that's ruin. Don't count me in as this. Say, just run her away and I'll clap the totem for you. Running her back. Got grabbed, didn't you? Say, what's the Bill over there doing? He's just kind of been vibing on match. Does she have barbecue is what I wanted to know. That's kind of what it seems like. Glad she went that way, bro. I'm about to snag me a save. Yeah, please move. My life is of 10 times more importance than yours. Get out of my way. I so wanted to try and jump in the locker. Oh shit, I forgot she broke all the... Not that one, though. Hatchets, motherfucker, she did such a good job hiding the fact that she had hatchets that I was so confident in throwing that pallet that I was willing to go for it. Oh my fucking god. Oh, do you have soldier's belt or did you just... Honestly, when did she get hatchets? Also, this Bill is like just being absolutely useless like I was a couple games ago. It might have been one game ago. I'm not sure anymore. You want to heal? Oh, thank you, actually. You, probably, syringe. Beamer, I don't know if that's the move right now. Yeah, I'm actually going to progress away from that. I'm frankly not interested in touching butts with the killer right now. Finally, a man who understands that the only way we're gonna escape is by actually fucking doing generators. You're not Bill. However, I'm not gonna complain because you are a gamer doing generators, so that's close enough. taking a heal, sir. Why, thank you. God damn it, sprint burst. Ooh, that was very close. Very, very close. I think this breaks our 3-gen. Just go for the one right up there. Okay. Ooh, very well played. Let's go turn first gen quickly. Go for the hook guy. Follow me. I hope and pray you've got adrenaline. That's the move. Tragic that you saw that blight. You might go for the kill on him, but actually really needed someone else here to help with this generator. Damn, bro, that's crazy. Please don't let me know it. Woo! very lucky. That was so fucking lucky, bro. I'm actually going to drop this. I think the other person was getting the other generator done, I hope. Or not generator, door. It doesn't matter, I'm dead. I don't get out of this, no matter how I play it. Doesn't matter because the game doesn't fucking register what's a hit and what's not! Yeah, the other person was leaving. Smart, though. Oh well. Hunters actually did really well. That was actually a really good game too. I'm not mad at that whatsoever. What'd she have? Moderately decreases windup? That's weird. I would have brought like an add-on that gives me an extra hatchet, but hey, you know, to each their own. White ward, but they didn't bring an item, or it didn't show the item they brought. Party streamers, that's pretty dope. I think I at this point I just save video clips of shit that I don't think should exist in this game. Number one being that hit at the beginning of the game when my first hook, when she fucking hit me with the hatchet even though I'd already fallen down the hole. We did it, boys. We. Oh. Can I get to it? Thank you. Now the real question is that 49 or is that 48? So we got the 49 already. That's kind of crazy. Oh. It looks a lot less daunting when I realize I've only, well, technically it's still 3 pages left since it's just the start of this page, but I've got 14 days to get 20 tiers, basically. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be real rough. You know what I do like, though, is how good the free pass was this time around. What? What do you mean internet quality is not sufficient enough to broadcast gameplay? If I disconnected from the internet again, I'm gonna go down there and break whoever's legs, kick that goddamn internet cord a little bit. Escalation, Reckoning, Awakening. What was this one called? Conviction.
Don't play with Arcus. 9-inch Arcus. Arcus.
Arcus. Funny. A real fucking toe slapper. Chase survivors for a long time. Let's see what the dailies have to say about that. Nah. Okay, sure. I could drop 1,000,000 points on Pig. That is something I very much could do. Because it is my new killer, but I am at a moderate rank. And also fuck rank, so I guess I could put 1,000,000 plus points into Pig. I just don't know, though. I could prestige somebody. I know the next tomb is going to be about Hillbilly, so I could, you know, get Hillbilly to a high rank. Get some good items for him. Although I personally fucking hate Hillbilly and Oni, because they both play the exact same. Just boosted fucks. I just don't know. I don't know what to spend this million on. I want to prestige someone, but I don't know who to prestige, because I always prestige them once, and then I'm like, oh, they're going to be my new main, and then I never play them again, because it, you know, costs me like $1.5 million to prestige them every time, and that's if I'm not getting them good items. I really do want to prestige my Blight. My issue is I don't know, do I really have anything I mind losing? Like, I'm not really too stingy about his add-ons, to be honest. So I know what I want to get next time around. Let me see, if I was to prestige Blight and come back to him, well, I guess prestiging him wouldn't fucking matter, because he's getting cosmetics in the next pass anyway. So why would I prestige Blight? Good point. But I'm taking a break from the next pass. Fuck. I might not, though. If it's good enough, I'll come back, but I won't go as hard on it as I am this one. Let's put it this way. I won't be a fuck and quit playing for, like, 2 weeks straight. But I'm also not going to dedicate my life to this game like I have to for the next couple days. Alright. Here's what I'm thinking. I put a bunch of points into Hillbilly, get him up to 50, because I know he's going to be in the next pass, and I know I'm going to have challenges I don't like for him. I might as well just get it over with. Build up my million, and then actually drop it on some survivors and get some add-ons I don't have, or some perks I don't have. But I don't have surveillance for a pig, and that's just occurred to me. And surveillance is a really good pig perk, actually. It's pretty smack. And it would do really fucking good on Hillbilly as well. Oh, the fucking choices, bro. God, everything I do is a mental game of chess that I cannot win! Alright, you know what? I'm putting the points into Hillbilly, and then I'll come back and get Pig, because, frankly, I don't care about surveillance that much. Damn it. Could have played that a little... No, I'm just kidding. I don't care. Okay, hang on. I'm thinking about it, and it's just... I can't do Hillbilly yet. I have to get Surveillance. Surveillance is just such a crispy-ass perk that it also even is willing... Ooh, barbecue. That it also even makes me want to prestige my Blight, because, first off, my Blight got shafted on perks. Like, it makes me very sad how badly my Blight got shafted on perks. But Surveillance is good on any gen-based killer, any gen defense-heavy build. Is that face mask? That's fucking cute. Face mask is undoubtedly one of the best pig add-ons. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not a big pig player, mostly because I didn't have pig until about a couple hours ago. However, I have played pig in custom games because I used to own a friend's account, but I don't anymore, so I don't have pig. I also didn't have tap, but now I have tap. So what does that mean? Tenacity, and that's about it. Maybe Detective's Hunch to speed up that great skill check thing, but I can hit a great skill check pretty well that I don't think I need to worry too much about using that add-on, or that perk. Plus it involves me being near the killer but not in a chase. It's weird. I don't know how I feel about it. Yes, please. Videotape. Decreases the ambush attack charging time. Slightly decreases the ambush attack miss cooldown. That's dope. I want the mystery box. Alright, I've turned my game volume way down so I can hear myself talk for once. I don't normally get this opportunity because I'm screaming. So most of the time my brain is rattling around from the volume of my voice and the anger pulsating out of me. Please don't take that. Gives a notification when survivor removes a reverse bear trap or revealed. Auras of survivors removing a bear trap are revealed to you for 6 seconds. Okay, I see. That's cool. I don't remember Pig's add-ons at all, so I don't know what's good and what's not. That's a good... I fucking... Y'all saw it. The game made me do it. I had no other choice but to grab Noed. Ooh, Undying. That's pretty cool. Noed Undying, anybody? I have actually not seen anyone run that. And just... the deepest part of me knows it's gonna work in a really scummy way, and it's gonna happen to me when I'm in the middle of doing something semi-important. But I'm not, oh wait, fuck. Yikes. I'm not trying to spend too much on Pig, because I really don't want to. I kind of just want to get the bare minimum, and then I'll play her on occasion. You know, I'll probably play her in the next match. But yeah, I'm really not trying to get her best add-ons, but I am trying to get a little bit of everything. Skill check trigger odds when interacting with the jigsaw box. That could work kind of well with a certain build. Not that it would do much now that I think about it. Oh, there's the... I'm trying to think, I was like, where's the thing I'm looking for? Ooh, black words. I don't get those too often, and they're normally super helpful. Actually, I don't think I had a choice there. Hex Retribution, though. See, neither of these are good. Actually, I haven't really looked at the new Dying Light. The last I remember it was, you mori your obsession and win. Your obsession gains a 33% action speed bonus to unhooking and healing other survivors. Each time you hook a survivor, other than the obsession, if the obsession is alive, gain a token. If the obsession is alive, all survivors who are not the obsession get a 2% penalty to repair, healing, and sabotage speed for each token. Wait. Each time you hook a survivor, other than the obsession. I'm not interested, because I do have... I thought if that would have been if you hook the obsession, you know, but it's not, so I'm not too interested anymore. Now these, though. Yeah. Last Will. Those are ones I want to pick up as well. What did this do? Bag of your... Increase time takes for research jigsaw box. Time it takes for reverse bear trap on. That's a little extra bonus, I guess. That's cool. Is it Yerv that does the Hello Gamers thing, or was that... Am I thinking of someone else? Still release toxins are as caught in a repair. Ooh. Ooh. I really wanted that black word. Mangled, sure. Bonus bear trap, dope. Can't get that. Don't care about missed upgrades. Alright. Ruin has come to our family. Okay. Creative Gears I know is a good one. And I've always got to take Mary's letter. I have never genuinely had a favorite map in this game. You know, I like all the Macmillan maps kind of equally. I enjoy the new rework of or the new look of Freddy's map. But there's never specifically been one identifiable thing that never been one identifiable map that I'm just like, that's my map, that's my go-to. If I was gonna bring a map offering, it would be that one. Until it comes to fucking Midwich. Hands down, one of my favorite maps for no reason. Like, I just like it. It's fun. I rarely have a bad time on that map. I'm not saying I don't have a bad time, but it's rare that I do have a bad time on Midwich. Like, even the times I do die, I feel like I normally have a pretty good match. Like, if you look at my... I don't know how you'd describe a win-loss ratio on here, other than escapes, because I don't always escape on that map. I'm thinking more like if I've managed to rank up or not out of a match. I would say more times than not, I've ranked up out of a match, even if I've died on that map. This is Hangman's Trick. That's... Survivor see the order of any hook within orders of survivors. Wow, Hangman's Trick is still just as useless as the day it got changed. Sure. Block that. Grab the mask. Grab the shattered syringe and the blueprints. Crisp. Whispers. Actually, those are two really good, really good perks. The spine chill equivalent for killer. Will it grab that, though? It did. It did. You heard it here, folks. It did. It did grab it. We'll actually make it to our teachables. I know there are much smarter options I could take. I'll say no matter what here, I've fucked myself into how much I'm gonna have to pay for this. Hangman's Trick. I will let it take all of that, actually. So I'll just cheat my way out of it. It's the cheapest I got. Alright. New pitch. Ignore the voice crack. So I don't think I actually need to get her to 45 because I bought Make Your Choice fucking ages ago. But I do have it. Zenshi Tactics is a horrible item. Or a horrible perk. Like, if there's a perk that needs to be reworked, it's Zenshi's Tactics. 'Cause it's such a dumb item. Like, I just personally cannot think of a dumber perk than being told where the windows and pallets are. Like, hey, I know there's a pallet around this wall. It's not gonna change the fact there's a pallet there. At least that's how I see it. Drilling tremors. I'm trying to think how I could play this in my favor here. That worked out pretty well. Alright. I got all the teachables I wanted. Oh, there's Tampered Timer. I figure I'm here. I might as well just blow the rest of the blood points on Pig. See what I can get. I want to get Amanda's letter, which was the item that was there just a second ago, but it's too late now. Yeah, that's all I'm getting out of this. It's really tragic that I did not get an Amanda's letter, and the best thing I got was Rule Set 2. Didn't Tampered Timer also used to remove how many jigsaw boxes there were or something? I think it only reduces it by like 15 seconds, which is good, don't get me wrong, but makes me wonder, would it be smarter to do Rule Set 2 with Jigsaw Sketch, or would it be smarter to do Tampered Timer in Jigsaw Sketch? Or Tampered Timer in rule number 2? That is the question. Also, literally didn't even get her perks. Would like to point that out. And I don't think I got a single level 3 perk for her. I know she's not super high level yet, so I can't really, jump the gun too much, but it's a little annoying. Oh, it's two tracking perks. Is there anything else? Got a lot of fucking hex perks, I can tell you that much. Let's see. If the regression is interrupted on a generator, it will be highlighted with a yellow aura for 8 seconds. Surveillance is cute. That's why I like it. And discordance, kind of useless. I've got so many tracking perks. That has just occurred to me. I question if barbecue is even a necessity. Who the fuck am I kidding? Of course barbecue's a necessity. Why am I bringing Nemesis? Because of the challenge. Isn't it Hook the Obsession? Nope, it's Chase Survivors. Changing it to Hook the Obsession. Disables the pig's place. Jigsaw box orders. Notifications. Removes the bear trap. Removing a reverse bear trap are revealed to you for 6 seconds. Okay. So you can mix these two together. Instead of there being 4 boxes around the map, there'd be 6. But they'd have an additional 15 seconds. Don't like my chances. I also don't like that I only have 1 tampered timer. That's kind of obnoxious. However, I do have 9 face masks, and I will equip one. And I also have 9 last wills, and I will equip one. And as for my offerings, I only got 1 survivor pudding. What the fuck? Don't know how I feel about this. Not popping one of my letters. I'll play clown. I have to play clown anyway. I don't think I have Nemesis on clown, so I just can keep Chase Survivors one on instead. Good old solvent jug. I don't know why, but bottle of chloroform is just fucking... But I will actually take Ether Volume 10. It's not what it's actually called. My brain put 1 and 2 together, and by then it was too late. Now I look like a dumbass. I'll just say Ether 10, 15, and 5 from now on. Is there an Ether 5? I think there is. Oh, god damn it, I was the only one that didn't ready up. I'm sorry. Oh, someone brought a map offering. Alright, we probably got about 2 more games left, and then I'm going to call it a night there. So let's make these games good. Let's complete challenges on both matches. And then we'll call it. So I remember, a long time ago, someone reminded me. I actually had an old booklet that I filled with ideas that I had for Dead by Daylight. That was actually a perfect fucking throw. Yeah, say goodbye to that flashlight. I don't think so. Scratch marks right here. Okay. Yeah, quit popping my gems. It's my job. You jump off? Oh, he did jump while I wasn't looking. That's a shame. Where the fuck? Am I blind? I'm very lost. Huh? You just try and... Just try and self-care and fuck up? Oh. Oh, that's tragic, Richter. Oh, that's tragic. Oh, now get on the fucking hook. Let's see. It's one piston. This one's gotta have people on it, though. No, but there were people working on this one more than the other one. So I think I'll do that and then check this locker. You know what? Cancel out. They would have hopped out by now. Let's come back to check if anyone's on this one. Throw a bottle over at Richter. Someone was touching this. It was only at one piston a moment ago. Who did it? Who done did it? Hey. I better not be over there touching generators. Get out of here. Nice pallet. Whoa. I'm glad you felt that was your opportunity to run. Tragic. I need to reload my bottle. Perfect. It's simply outplayed, son. Is that Jane I hear? Oh, she's gonna go for the save in front of my face, isn't she? Yeah, looks like somebody changed their mind. I was actually expecting her to pop out because it's a Jane. What? I'm genuinely confused on where she went, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I have no idea. Ooh. Is that her? It's David. Oof. Don't talk about it. Okay. I'll say I knew they were gonna go for it. Say, Richter, if you got dead hard, you got me, bud, because I wasn't expecting it. Gamer? I think I broke his will. Actually, I think my game crashed. I think my thing disconnected. What? I'm very confused. Why has this recent update made so many glitches? Like, I understand, you know, they fix one thing, they break 10 more, but holy shit, it's never been this bad. Well, that's a lie. It actually has been really bad before in the past, but this time it feels really fucking bad, man. Like, really bad, the amount of glitches I'm running into. I don't normally run into glitches. But man, I am just fucking rolling in them today. Oh, hello. Pallet drop. I don't know why I went for it. Actually, I don't know how she made it either. I definitely thought I was in the clear to hit that, but I guess not. I'm gonna reload. Jump this, block the window. No choice but to throw the pallet. Or throw the game. That's fine. I'm down with either. Basement hook out of it as well. That's cute. So this is a Jane hiding in that locker, in which case I'm gonna be super fucking pissed. Glad I didn't kick this. Now I can pop it. Run that generator right there. They get the save because they need to get there like right now if they want to save her. They did indeed get the save. That generator's gonna pop. I need to get over there. Oh, it's the David maybe. I got pretty close but didn't finish. It's kind of awkward going all the way out here. I might let him finish these two gens. Like these two gens are super far out of the way. It's not worth trying to defend. Best I can do is try and keep this one low. And I definitely need to keep these two up. Get off my generator. You were on it, you little bastard. So you're either gonna run through the gas and I'm gonna hit you and take the pallet, or you're just gonna give up. Dead hard. tickle me fucking surprised. I was expecting a dead hard. Could basement, but I don't have the time. Oh, somehow. Touch it? That's amazing. Thank you for all your pallet. I'm just gonna keep using them on me if I'm not careful. I need to act like I'm going this way. And then actually catch the Jane being an idiot. Can I hit her? I can. Why did a crow fly off over here? Oh, maybe it was a crow coming back. Shit. I didn't even think of that. They are on that one. Ugh, it's hard being a killer with no mobility. Having to run 10,000 bajillion fucking miles just to get to the gen and it gets popped in your face. It's tragic. It really is. I'm glad she's dead. If she didn't die, I would have been in a really bad spot. That's the gen they had 99, so they might actually get that. I'm actually going to pop this one instead. That one was close as well. I'm in a really bad spot, actually. Not gonna hit the tree? Nope. Right over the tree and managed to fucking nail him. Oh, Richter, you cunt. I'm killing you for that one. Thought there was a pallet there, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, I know at least one of them is over here. And it could be sad if one of them finishes the gen behind me, but I don't think they will. Alright, he's dead as well, that's good. I got time to reload. They came back to this one. No, I'm gonna let her go. Make sure she doesn't finish. I'm pretty sure the David is behind me. I'm pretty confident, because I think he quick vaulted something. Yeah, but see, she's also got this one over here, which is what I'm worried about the most. She's got multiple generators at her disposal, and I need to worry about David as well. Because David's going to go finish this one if I'm not careful. However, I can still see the sparks coming off it, so I'm in a good spot. Check this one over here as well. Not of bottles. It's not what you like to see. There is no David. David was actually a lie all along. There has been no David. He was just a figment of my imagination. Oh, I just want to find the hatch, to be honest. Found the hatch. And David. Damn it. Am I missing something here? Was there like a haha funny meme somewhere I missed? Hopefully she's got adrenaline, so when I kick this, she'll run to one of the doors and I'll be able to pick her off there. If not, tragic. Because I probably will never find her. Right hatch, close. Bonk. And she didn't have adrenaline. And they're both on this side. So that means she's got to sneak past me, and she most likely will, because, let's be honest, you can't hear down survivors during the end game. It's too fucking loud. So let's see, I downed her right about here. Right around this area. Oh, she was up here. Hello. Nice try. You almost got it. Bonk. I do my happy dance. You can't really do a happy dance spell anymore. They removed it. Merciless. Absolutely fucking vigilant. Oh, my fucking goal. Oh, it hurts. Oh, it hurts. Someone hold me. Someone fucking hold me. I'm in pain. I'm in pain. Why? Fucking why? I needed 3 more seconds of chasing someone. 3 more seconds of chasing someone. Oh, why did David have to stay on the generator? Fuck. God damn it, man. Oh, I'm pissed. I'm pissed. Oh, livid. Livid on that one, boys. Unhappy gamer moment right there. Not epic. Didn't happy. No ending. Alright, I got one more. But I'm not doing this challenge, because it's a waste of a fucking challenge. Ugh. Fucking livid, bro. Livid about that one. This will be known as a very dark day in human history. A very dark day. Alright, time to get fucking memed on as pig. What's the goal? Hook the obsession. Will we achieve it? Fuck no. We're gonna try, damn it. So how this works, how Nemesis works, is it's a brilliant fucking perk that allows you to bring your goddamn obsession back from the dead if you killed him like a dumbass. So, how it works, if you don't know. But you should, because if you're watching this at any time, that means I became mega famous and people are coming back to dig up dirt and see if I'm a fuckhead. In which case, yes, you found me, congrats. I have most definitely at one point said the N-word on stream, and I take no shame in it. Get over it. But what I'm saying here, for gamers who don't know, For the future generations looking back at how dumb people were. Let me tell you what Nemesis does. Let me just open it and show you. When you get... The future generations will never know. Let them suffer without the knowledge. Here's the plan. I chase someone. If they're the obsession, down them, hook them. I find someone else. I let them hit me with a pallet, down them, hook them. Because then they become the obsession for stunning me with a pallet. Do it to the next one, so on and so on. Complete the challenge in one game. Is the idea setup? Reality, I might hook my obsession 3 times in this game. Might. I'm playing a killer I've never played at a rank that I fucking hate. Actually, purple's not bad. Purple is like that mid... It's like the green. Actually, no. No, green for both killer and survivor is sweaty as shit in the most toxic pit of cancer. Like, even chemo is scared of that. But... It's purple is okay. Purple is like the okay ground. It's where you have to be skilled to be here. And, you know, you're not too sweaty. You're still willing to have fun. Yellow rank is either super sweaty tryhard or super good times. I can crouch. I forgot about that. Just won't crouch around. Sneaky like. Real sneaky like. I didn't realize how short that lunge actually is. You're not my obsession. Thank you. Ooh, dead hard. Well played. That's tragic. See, that was my biggest thing I knew was gonna fucking happen, was I was gonna try and get my obsession so hard that I wasn't gonna actually think like a human being and hunt actual players. I was just gonna go for my obsession, and now 2 gens are gonna pop. And I will have only hooked my obsession once. Why? Because I ran into the fucking god of looping killers. Apparently. There we go, finally got him. Beautiful. Alright, mask time. How do I do this? There we go. Now I start with the obsession. Simple as that. Hey. Best get off that generator. Now, boy, I said don't make me tell you twice. Hey. Hey. Oh, what the fuck? Why are so many pallets? Not pallets, what's it called around here? Generator's nearly done. I ain't gonna lie, just trying to hook the obsession. I don't really care about how fast this game goes by afterwards. Because I know 2 gens are over there about to pop. This one's pretty close. I mean, this is game over already. That's just factual. This game is over, but I gotta get over to that gen in time. I don't think I'm gonna be able to really do much. Nobody's working on this generator. Or a crow did fly off somewhere. Sure. Also, who's my obsession? What? Huh? Oh, did they for the people somebody? Hey, get off that generator. That's a quick and quiet gamer right there. That hit? Sure. Did he get it? Oh my fucking god. Actually perfect. You know, it's nice, no one's touched that gen over there at the right ever since I kicked it, so it's probably regressed a good amount. Now with this I can go there. I gotta go to that gen next. Now the plan is what? The hell you're getting out of here? Hey, that was my fucking kill and ain't nobody robbing me of that. I didn't put a trap on her. Makes me wonder if I can still do it. Come on. Do I have enough time? Will I have enough? I mean, I was able to pick her up and put her down, so probably. As long as I didn't get that glitch, I would have been fine. And luckily, I didn't get the glitch. Person on that gen. Nobody's over here. One person going for their jigsaw boxes. Man, that lunge ain't very far, is it? I might just get you as well, so let's hope he ain't got decisive. That'd be kind of sad. That'd be a little sad if he had decisive. Not gonna lie. He turned around, didn't he? Also, I want him to stop using pallets because I need other people to be throwing pallets. Now he's gonna throw it. He's got. I ain't heard a cat screech like that. What the hell? Someone came out of the basement. Alright. I think I got time to... Ooh. Who's that? Injured woman. I'm just gonna keep her down. I don't need to hook her. Let's see if crouching does me any good this time. Somebody's had the shiny oh, skinny penis. That skinny penis person has had their mask on for really fuck me. Why was I speaking? Why did I even open my mouth? I should have crows. They're probably getting the box, aren't they? Yep, I assume. No, I gotta hook him. I know he's got a mask on, there's like no point, but that's yellow. That's You've still got your That's fucking tragic, bro. See, I don't remember hooking you a moment ago, but anyway, someone's over there on the shack hook or shack generator. I need to go see that. That does not continue. Game, please. There we go. Sorry, bud. I didn't mean to tunnel, but you alerted the crows. I saw the crows. You're the only one I knew about, so oops. Someone's over here kissing my gen. Make sure kids know how I feel about people touching my generators. Maybe my eyes deceive me, but she just kind of phased through that window on my screen. Sure. I'm so glad you hit me with that. Like, I've never been happier. Did you just insta-heal? Did you just insta-heal? You just popped an insta-heal in front of me. I want you to know that with all the strength inside of me, I do not plan on letting you get that insta-heal off. Yeah, fuck you. I'm trying to get your insta-heal off. Matter of fact, you're dead on hook, so there's no point of trapping you. Is she dead on hook? Actually, I don't think she is. Fuck. Yikes, bro. Alright, do I have enough time to make it to that generator before they finish? These are the questions. And is crouching worth it right now? No, it is not. Please don't finish that. Not able to finish it. There's no way I get in time. Yeah, he's committing to it. There's no way. No way. Oh my god, he gave up? Kick the damn generator game. I need to open this door right here. I need to let some wind, some air in. Did he lock it? No. Right there. Right? Is that what I saw? I saw incorrectly. I have to keep a very close eye on that generator, though. I know that one's pretty close, but that one was literally teeming. About to fucking erupt. Nope. Whoever's at this generator, I gotta hunt him. I gotta get rid of him. They're a problem. A problem, I say. Did he just not leave scratch marks when he ran? What happened? Oh, there he is. I was gonna say, did he just not leave scratches? That was kind of weird. I'm an idiot. Are they gonna come body block for him or what? He committed to that. I commend him for that. Nope. We're gonna get that open. That's no problem. So I saved that for this exact moment. Now he can't get out. They can open this gate. But it ain't gonna do much for him. Hello. You have to open the door and get out there. Yep. So I want to find the gamer that did that to him, because she's my obsession now, and she's the one I need to hook. But she could just be waiting at the gate now. She is just waiting at the gate now. Alright, epic. Now, does he get hatch or no? He'd be big sad if he got hatch. I think I saw it this way. Damn it. Oh well. I think I got a pretty good amount of hooks, but I think I'm going to be one off. Let's see. 3, 2, 1. I'm trying to think of how many times I hooked the obsession. Okay, it's off by 2. That person did have an insta-heal. You're dumb. You definitely don't bring one of those. If you want it to be an instant heal, you gotta commit, and you've got to bring a big boy med kit. Wow, 2 for the people gamers? That's kind of wacky. Oh well, first game is pig and I didn't D-rank, which is what surprises me the most. What did I fuck up on? Chaser was good. Yeah, malicious is hard to keep in a good zone because basically it just means you got to get a lot of hooks and you can't let people heal. And of course I didn't get that because I didn't hook very many people. Alright, that was the last game of the night. It went alright. I've got 2 challenges, which I basically need 1 more game to finish now. I mean, hell, I don't even need to run Nemesis next time. I can just hook my obsession twice, like a normal person, instead of running a Nemesis build. However, Nemesis is a good perk, in my opinion. But it is also heavily related if you're running an obsession-based build. Sometimes it could just work out in your favor because, believe it or not, a lot of people don't pay attention to where the fuck they're running. So when they've got Oblivious and they're freaking out because they're like, oh, I can't hear the killer's terror radius anymore, and then suddenly, you know, smack dab into a wall while in the middle of a chase, can be pretty good. Can be. Not saying it is, because sometimes it is not the best. But, yeah. I think I could enjoy Pig quite a bit. Especially for those end-game traps. That's kind of fucking cute. Locking people in the game. I don't know. I need more time with that ambush, though, because it's kind of rough. Maybe I just need to get closer next time before I throw myself at whoever I'm trying to kill. Alright, the next game will be Myers, I guess. Alright, well, that's the end of that. Hope you have a bad day, and I hope your family has a bad day. I just hope everyone's having a bad day. I'm out of here.